Wagner, the bid for the
What's today?
District 1 building.
4 o'clock. I have 4 o'clock, Mr. President.
What is today, the 12th?
Oh, I don't have a sign on.
Good evening, everyone. Today is April 12th. We're going to call the Warrick County Commissioners Board meeting to order. Welcome. Sheriff, can you join us or start the pledge, please?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, first order of business this evening is APC. Molly?
The first thing we have on the agenda is we're looking for a consensus on commercial drive requirements for small cell towers. We had a request to discuss this tonight from River City Wireless, and they are here. We recently passed in our ordinance that if they were qualified as a small cell and they're to be no taller than 50 feet in height, that they wouldn't have to get a special use and go through the BZA, that they could get just an improvement location permit. However, it still looks like they would have to get the commercial entrance permit to go with it. And we're wondering about not requiring that if there's a house already there and a driveway there.
Yeah, that was my issue with it, is that if there is an existing parcel there and it has an existing drive, then they could just use the drive that's there and get a waiver from the commercial. But if the lot isn't developed yet, then I'm not sure how we would handle that. I would think a driveway permit for that lot would have to be applied for. And if it's not a residential use, if it's for commercial use at that time.
What are the specs?
But I think most of these go on residential.
I was gonna say, if that's the case, we can help out with that, because all of these will be residential. I'm sorry, Rodney Nicholson, River City Wireless.
Thank you, Rodney.
Jessica Robling, River City Wireless.
All of these will basically be residential because it's for wireless internet. They're in a situation where there's nothing there and we're putting a tower up, then it's a full-blown tower.
Okay.
200-foot tower, and we're going through the SU 18 process at that point.
Yeah. So I don't know if it just needs consensus from the board to allow existing access use.
Yes, if we'll have them, this will have to come to site review. And if we see at the site review, there's existing access on it with an existing home, we won't make them go through the commercial driveway process.
Makes sense to me.
Sounds
Should those
reasonable.
regulations be officially amended then?
If you want to practice, Rodney, you know where I live. So.
I hear you. Actually, we have a site coming up north of Boonville that we're going to be reaching out to you guys to come test again. Yeah.
You know,
I'm good with it.
Everybody good? Okay.
Yep.
That works. That's all we need. Thank you.
That's it?
You don't want our papers?
I was gonna say, dude, we come ready for an argument. I mean, I thought it was going to be a big deal, really.
We're good.
Thank you
Awesome.
guys. We
Thanks,
have
guys.
paperwork and everything.
That's common sense.
Thank you guys very much.
Okay, we have a street acceptance on the agenda. It's for Arbor Point, Section 3, Phase 1. It's by Route 66 Development, LLC. Point View Drive at 310 lineal feet and Lakeview Drive at 320.73 lineal feet. We are currently holding $11,362.50 letter credit, which expires February 27th of 2022. They have had 4 years. The site has been inspected and the street acceptance has been signed by the county engineer.
anything else, Bobby?
Oh, it's approved. I'd recommend acceptance. It's for the east side and south side around the hotel.
Very good. I'll entertain a motion.
Make a motion to approve the street acceptance for Arbor Point, Section 3, Phase 1.
Second.
A first and a second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries 3-0.
That's all for us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mike.
All right, next order of business is the approval of the minutes from the March 22nd, 2021 meeting.
Make a motion to approve the minutes.
Second.
We have a first and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries 3-0. And the next item of business is our consent agenda. Roger?
Thank you, Mr. President. First item has to do with the new generator for the Warrick County Judicial Center. Joe solicited, or no, I guess maybe Joe wasn't involved in that, but we did receive quotes from 2 local companies. I emailed copies of those to the board and to Todd and others on March 26th. Lambs Electric LLC, $27,750 with delivery after order of the new generator of 10 to 12 weeks. Boonville Natural Gas is $25,525. Their delivery of the new unit after order is 23 weeks, so almost 6 months versus 2.5 to 3 months for Lambs. And Wayne Lamb is in the audience. I don't know if Steve Gibson is here from Boonville Natural Gas, but even though Lamb's quote is $2,225 higher than Boonville Natural Gas's, I'm recommending you select Lamb's Electric LLC. President Philippi suggested perhaps if you do approve that, making it subject to them meeting the 10 to 12 weeks delivery time of the new industrial generator. There were also factors in the 2 proposals, for example, regarding monitoring, such things as oil pressure, voltages, fluid levels, etc. Boonville Natural Gas basically said that that would need to go through communication or an IT company for internet service. And Wayne stated that notification of weekly startup and problems such as water and oil levels, low battery condition, etc., by cellular connection should be available. And his is more friendly towards achieving that monitoring that we want done for alarms. Also, and I didn't get a chance to get with Boonville Natural Gas on this, they included the provision but not installation of a new enunciator panel. And Wayne has stated that price reflects use of existing auto transfer switch and existing control / enunciator panel. Boonville Natural Gas quoted excludes any electrical work, mounting of enunciator panel, and any possible concrete work. WAM's quote includes electrical work, and there's a couple of other factors in favor of selecting Lamb's Electric LLC. I don't know if you've had a chance to review those quotes.
Wayne and Josh, could you guys come up for, I got some questions.
Me too.
Okay.
Let me interject real quick, Dan, that I did talk to Dave Woolen today, our EMA Assistant Director, and he did acknowledge that he had discussed with Wayne about a hookup. What's the term for it, Wayne?
A manual transfer
Switch.
Yeah.
and a cam lock system. So
He could hook up another generator if that
Yes.
one's down.
And that's a significant additional cost, although the board, per Dave's suggestion, says if we ever do go down with this new one, we're dead in the water. So he told me that an option would be, rather than have it installed on the new generator, you could have an electrician hook up wires just to run inside the building to make that happen, on a temporary basis, or, that's what Dave said. It would be a lot less costly.
when we first started figuring this, to do it right and to do it the way that you all wanted it done with the cam lock system and everything like that, I went ahead and, along with the generator system, I had Evapar give me a price on that manual transfer switch and the cam lock system only. Their company supplies that stuff.
Right.
And that alone was over $5,500. That's no wiring, no installation, nothing else. So between the time that I gave Roger our proposal and today, I did a little bit of legwork and kind of figured real quickly some material and everything. I'm already at a little over $16,000. Now that does include labor to a certain point in that. And where we're at on that is it's not as easy as it sounds as far as mounting a manual transfer switch and a cam lock system, plugging it in, and you do boom, you turn the other generator off and you turn this one on. You have to intercept the utility power, the old generator power, and the new generator power to those emergency panels. There's 2 panels in that equipment room that they feed that goes throughout the building, the judicial center. So it's not just something that's real simple to do and to do it right.
I understand that.
So,
And
yeah.
it's not a residential box.
No, this is not like my power at home's gone out
Right.
and I've got a welder receptacle and I'm going to
You
plug
can
it into
backfeed
that
it
welder
and-
receptacle and turn my main off in my panel and it's going to happen. We can't do it like
Right.
that. So,
Because, yes.
and with what Dave had told Roger about making up a cord set or something like that is legal, but we cannot tie that into existing switch gear that's inside that building.
Well,
you know.
let me say this. I understand what Wayne, or not Wayne, but Dave was wanting to do, but I think with the cellular and the notification, and was you working with 5-Star with that, some of that?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
So 5-Star is our provider. So with that notification, we're going to know if it's down. And that's what was the problem with this, Wayne. We didn't know it was down because the one out here on this building, we had it set up to kick on at noon Friday because somebody's here. It happens to be Brad's wife. She listens for it, notifies Brad. I know that's kind of antiquated, but
Right.
it works.
But
We don't have that luxury.
the old generator actually in that control enunciator panel, that's located inside that mechanical room, that electrical room,
Mhm.
where the automatic transfer switch is. It has an alarm on it that sounds. It's a dual piezo actually, horn or buzzer as such that goes off. But you're behind the restroom. It'd take somebody going in that restroom or something like that, plus hearing it through that door. That was turned off when we were first there. So you can turn that off. So
So in my,
I'm not saying that the generator that was there, which the existing generator is naturally an older unit. Well, it's a 98 actually. I show it as being a 98 model. As far as notification and things like that, they've come a long way now. Matter of fact, Generac's telling me that possibly rather than having to go with the cellular and calling out to somebody that may have an app, that you can have as many people on that app, take that app out. So
I think they do have that now with some gen sets. Yeah.
and it tells you the same thing.
Right.
Right.
So with that app, do we need a, Cat 5 or Cat 6 wire?
Well,
Brandon?
here's the problem. If we have to go from the location of the new generator or existing generator and the new generator is going to the same place, we have no way of getting that data cable back into where it needs to be. So we would have to go wireless on that, which is doable. That's no problem doing that. That keeps us from having to cut the parking lot, trenching, tearing up concrete and all that kind of stuff.
Just for.
So
low
that
voltage
part
wire.
of it is not figured in getting that done, but that can be done. What
part's not figured in?
about the wireless.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, about the wireless, that's
Yeah.
not figured in?
so
Yeah.
Wayne, to your point, my question was, so this is capable of an enunciation system.
Absolutely.
It's just not quoted in your quote, or is it?
The enunciator is quoted.
Okay.
Yeah, it's quoted that we're going to use the existing. We were told that would work.
Okay.
Now there's a little bit of confusion with Evapar and what they told me, but they said it's regardless, it will be taken care of.
Okay.
I'm telling you that.
So it's included.
If it has to have a new enunciator panel, it's in that price.
That's
I'll
the only question I
I'll
have.
cover my bases on that.
So how do we get the wireless figured into this quote?
Like-
The wireless notification system. And that would be
The notification is figured into this,
with the app.
that, yes,
Okay,
yes.
perfect.
Okay.
Do we want to look at a new switching system?
A new transfer switch? Ooh,
I don't think there's any need in that.
You don't think so?
No.
that'd
You know,
be
that
pricey.
thing transfers, one, if there's power failure, and two, whenever it exercises. And it exercises without a load. Is that correct? Yeah.
Yeah,
without
once-
a load.
once a
So
week.
All right,
basically, all that's doing is the solenoid's opening and closing. Okay.
that's all I need.
Wayne, I know there's some water damage in there, so you've looked at that switch and it's good then?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah,
Or-
I've got pictures of it and everything. So, yep. Things will be cleaned up inside there and
So, I mean, this was declared an emergency some time ago, so I
Yes.
agree with the timeliness of delivery. Price isn't that much higher, so I'll entertain a motion to accept the bid from Lamb's Electric.
I'll make the motion to accept the Lamb Electric bid for $27,750.
Second.
I have a first and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries 3-0. Roger, I apologize. I just screwed up your consent agenda there by taking that item one at a time.
Oh, well, that's okay. That
But
needed
that
discussion.
was an emergency.
Yeah.
So that's probably good.
One thing I would comment, Wayne, in your quote, you're talking about 50% of total price due upon order of generator. You can make progress billings to us.
okay.
So we'll have to work with the auditor on that. We really can't pay for anything that we don't have. Of course, this is a service.
Right.
So, but we'll work with you on that.
Okay. Yeah, I'll get with you. One other thing, do you have any problem at all, since that generator is not usable, that we get started and get that generator out of there, prep the areas, which is in my proposal,
Soon as
so we can
possible.
prep that area,
Yeah,
get everything ready, the
Can't use it
wiring
anyway.
all ready to go and everything like that, so the day that generator comes, thereafter, we'll be here and be able to set it and
Makes
get
sense.
it going. There's no problem with getting started on that.
Fine.
Okay.
Good with that.
Thanks for the opportunity to let us bid on it.
Thank you, Wayne.
guys. Thanks, Wayne. Thanks, Josh.
I'll proceed to, the second item is to ratify approval of additional pest control services at Scales Lake Park by our contracted company, ARAB Pest Control. The next is ratify approval of jail treatment initiative contract with Quality Correctional Care. And I'll give you additional information once I present these. Next is a ratify property damage settlement release for damages to a traffic signal, the county traffic signal at Lincoln Avenue and 261. The damage was caused by Subterra Solutions. And finally, ratify approval of additional services addendum with Indiana Testing, Inc., our drug and alcohol testing provider. So if you want me to give some additional information on this, well, just let me know.
I think I'm fine with all the details.
Okay?
You good with it?
Entertain, is that all of the consent agenda there, Roger?
I think so. Do we have, Sheriff, do you have the documents on that jail treatment thing? Or is it Todd?
Well, he's giving me the review, make sure we have the correct one.
Okay,
And I'm gonna sign it if we.
okay, very good.
One that was changed.
And then he'll get that back to you, Roger, if that's okay.
That's excellent. All right.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda.
So move.
Second.
So a first and a second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries 3-0.
Thank you. Under my regular items, the first item is we have 3 requests for FMLA leave. Our HR manager, Heather Solberg, vetted all submitted paperwork, and everything is in correct form with proper signatures. I recommend you approve these by motion.
I'll entertain a motion.
I make a motion to improve the FMLA.
Second.
I have a first and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries 3-0.
Thank you. Next is a proclamation for National Therapy Animal Day for April 30th of 2021. And from the email I received from a local therapy animal team person, Marcia Keating, our state representative Cindy Ledbetter, as a former Warrick County Council member, was instrumental in having Ms. Keating send this to us as a request. And basically the proclamation just establishes April 30th this year as National Therapy Animal Day. She provided a sample language and Susie prepared the proclamation. These teams volunteer at places like extended care facilities and other similar facilities to help patients and persons on therapeutic measures with a dog, you know.
Very
I'd
good.
recommend you approve that.
I'll entertain a motion to proclaim April 30th, 2021 National Therapy Animal Day in Warrick County, Indiana.
So moved.
Second.
I have a first and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries 3-0.
Thank you. Next item is to discuss approval of an independent contractor agreement with Robin Greenlee. She is coordinator for the Warrick County Drug-Free Council, and she's been doing that job for many years. I sent you an email on March 26th. Mainly it was to Todd, but the board CC'd. It included copies of Robin's March 25th email explaining why it's necessary to approve a new agreement. And it also had attached a copy of the independent contractor agreement. There's no change in the monthly remuneration of $515. I'd also request you approve this by motion.
And
I believe Todd has reviewed it.
yeah, the agreement is in order.
Very good. I'll entertain a motion.
Roger, where's it? Does that come out of our budget? Is it?
No, that has a separate special budget
Okay.
and line item.
Okay. I make a motion to approve.
Second.
Very good. I have a first and a second. All in favor, say aye.
All right.
Aye. Motion carries 3-0.
Thank you. Next is our annual request from Castle High School to close Casey Road between Oak Grove and Van on Saturday, May 22nd of this year from 6 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. for commencement exercises. The board's been approving these for years. I'm not aware of any problems we've ever had, and I know Sheriff Wilder is.
Sheriff, you good with it?
Yes, we do it every year.
I make a motion to approve the closure of the Casey Road for commencement exercises for Castle High School.
And I'll second.
I have a first and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries 3-0.
Thank you, board. I have a couple of other items that need your attention. First is the fire protection system for the Warrick County Jail. Mandatory repairs pursuant to the fire alarm inspections that were done by the state fire marshal and the city of Boonville's fire inspector. Even though our purchasing manager won't be back till a week from today, you may want to consider moving forward with this. I know Joe contacted Priority One. That's our contractor for the maintenance and repairs at the jail of this system. Priority One had their subcontractor, Fire Tech Sprinkler and Backflow Service LLC, submit a proposal to furnish labor and materials for 9 different work items to get the jail's system in compliance. And pursuant to the state fire marshal's inspection, we have to get these done by May 1st. The numbered items in the proposal totaled $35,600. And he included, let me see, as far as his labor, he labor not to exceed 196 hours at $100 per hour, not to exceed 19,600. So that labor could be less, because that's a lot of hours. Anyway, we've got, there are 147 horizontal sidewall institutional sprinklers. Those cost $65 each, and 49 pendant institutional sprinklers. Those are also $65 each. Total of the material is $12,740, and those are just a couple of the 9 work items. So I don't know if Sheriff Wilder has any comments on this, but I don't know if you'd want to wait until your April 26th meeting to get this in order.
Sheriff Mike Wilder. Yeah, I don't think we want to wait. Fire marshal didn't, they've given us an extension. I think May 1st is already an extension of his original deadline.
From the original?
Yeah.
That could very well be.
And I think May 1st falls like on a Sunday. So it'd probably even have to be done April 30th.
It's, May 1st is a Saturday, Sheriff.
Saturday, okay, so, but.
Yeah.
So
So how are you paying for this, Sheriff?
yeah, I believe this is a commissioner's building.
You know, it always works out that way, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's,
So Roger, how do we pay for this? 'Cause
Priority
it wasn't-
one-
We didn't have this in the budget, right? I mean, identified.
Other than, no, it's something that's come up unexpected. So our only line item in the commissioner's budget would be your contractual services, because we have a contract with priority one.
Right.
However, we also have line items in the accumulated capital development fund for repairs to county buildings.
So this is a big number, so we're probably just gonna short whatever we pull it out of.
That's a
So
big
we're-
number.
I'm a little puzzled. I'll be careful what I say here, but I mean, we've done these inspections year in, year out, and these sprinkler heads have been there for years, and all of a sudden they're not adequate.
Yeah.
But obviously we've got to come up to par, or else we'll be fine. But
No,
it's
we'll
a
be
little
fine.
puzzling how all of a sudden this was an issue, never any other year. But
Right.
I've talked to some other sheriffs, and I don't know if there's been some emphasis put on these or not. So I know specifically, I know for sure Posey County's ran into a very similar situation, and their jail's quite a bit newer than ours even. But
So Sheriff, was this inspected by 2 different people, or is this?
I
This
think
is
it
by
was
the
probably
state fire
done in
marshal and-
conjunction. John Dorn is the Boonville fire inspector, and I'd have to look up to see who came down from the state, but a lot of times they do these in conjunction.
But the state, yeah, so he's correct. John Dorn did the first inspection, and so did then the fire marshal. But I don't think they wrote us up for that.
Who's they? The state?
Neither one of the inspectors wrote us up for our fire. They didn't write us up and catch it. Fire tech, whoever's our vendor, is the one that wrote us up for them. And then the fire marshal found it in the report and then saying fix it. Which
Sounds like a,
that's why I'm going to say very careful how I word this, but that's. So
Well,
that's.
and I know that, did Jeremy,
Counselor?
did you contact Troy no, that's Joe. Joe contacted Troy at Priority One.
Priority One is our contracted
Right.
vendor that's subcontracted with
Fire Tech.
Fire Tech.
Are they citing Indiana building code? What are they citing?
Yeah, they're Indiana Administrative Code, IAC. They reference those in the state inspection report. And it specifically states, in the state, Matthew Halsey was the name of the inspector. The date on this was March the 16th.
and who's this guy? Who's he work for?
Matt Halsey, he works for the Department of Homeland Security for the state of Indiana. They do the these type of sprinkler inspections. DHS does elevators, so I was kind of sidetracked by that, but
But he was made aware of it due to Priority One's report. Is that right?
Let me see.
Right, Sheriff?
I believe by Fire Tech's report.
Or I'm sorry, fire techs.
And I don't want to be on like 100% record, but I'm pretty sure that's how their initial report didn't have is by the Fire Tech report that they were made aware of the sprinklers. Like
The
some
initial
of them have
Fire
just a
Tech
little bit of
report,
paint on them. They wrote us up for, they're not even over the actual sprinkler. I mean, so they kind of came back and there's been some discussion whether those truly had to be replaced. I mean, there's things that,
well, the report of inspection by the state was March 16th. Priority One's subcontractor, Fire Tech, their first submittal was a day later on March 17th. So the combination, I know, I think you said something about Jeremy also. He contacted the city about the water pressure and.
So the sprinklers, when they did that test, we didn't have enough pressure coming through there. But the city said, well, why didn't you tell us? We would have done something different. So they can go back out in that one. I think they can fix. They said, just call us ahead before you do it. We'll make sure you got enough pressure. But that's kind of a neglect point because you don't call them before and say, hey, we're about to have a fire. The pressure. But I don't understand enough of that, to be honest. But I know that the city, they're not here, so I don't know how to I don't know what, they keep a pressure at a certain limit and then they can turn it up or how that all works. But they said if you do an inspection, we'll get you enough water pressure.
Then turn it down, effectively.
I'm serious is what they told us. And
The city, their initial inspection out there was like February 22nd. That's because I got a copy of Nick Dorn's. He put it on an incident report form.
yeah,
Boonville Fire Department, and it's dated February 22nd. So it just says inspection of facility.
I believe the pumping system will be fine with. They're going to retest it and we'll pass. The sprinklers is regardless of who found what, they're going to be,
Yeah.
now the fire marshal is saying they're going to have to be replaced.
The fire tech inspection has the exact same things as on the state report.
And the new ones are basically flush. They actually sit inside the wall, flush and come out because the old styles, stick out about that far. Perfect place for an inmate to hang his clothes, hang his stuff. Obviously, they're not supposed to, but obviously they weren't supposed to violate the law and be in jail. I mean, they don't always follow the rules. And that's how a lot of them have been tore up over the years or different things. So, but like I said, we've never been written up for any of them. So
Ask that question.
Yeah, I don't ever recall.
I think the most important thing is, I don't know how, but we need to address it and move forward because I don't think they're going to move the May 1st date out.
I don't think
If they
so.
are, they're not going to move it much further.
If we get to a point where we see the fire tech are not going to be able to do it, we could ask for an extension, but there's no guarantee they'll grant it.
Right.
So,
Counselor, obviously we have to do something here. This is a fire suppression system that's important. It's clear that something needs done. Priority One being a brand new vendor who's, by the way, using a subcontractor who we really don't have much of a relationship with. Can we approve something subject to another trusted vendor giving it a second eye?
quickly.
Yeah, I think you ought to approve some action to get it done one way or the other, but since it's an emergency, you can certainly put somebody in charge, be it Roger, Joe, or whoever.
Sheriff, do you know any other company that could come in here quickly and do, I mean, could you reach out to any of their sheriffs and say, hey, who do you use?
Yeah, I mean, I can definitely reach out to any of them and see who they're using to do their.
Say Vanderburgh County or something, or?
I think Joe had done that when we were searching
Okay.
out a new vendor and we ended up with Priority One. Not that we don't trust them, we've just only had a relationship with them for a very short time, and it'd be nice to have a second set of eyes. Quickly.
Yeah, and I'm not saying they've done anything wrong. It's just, these have gone on and on. They didn't all just this didn't all happen in 1 year from the
Yeah,
last inspection to this
exactly.
inspection.
Well, I think the sheriff brings up some, valid points, if there's a little paint on it, does that make the device defective? And so, I would make a motion to approve this especially if we can take a look at just getting quickly a second opinion on this, just to verify the first one that, these things are defective and need to be replaced.
Well, don't we have something from the state saying that they need to be changed?
Yeah, we know the paint and all, they've
Yeah,
stated, you
I
have
think
to
that
replace
ship's
these
sailed.
sprinklers, all of them.
I think we gotta take action on that.
I mean, finding another company to take a look at this is, in my opinion, is a waste of time. Because it's something you're gonna have to do, And man, the penalties are not gonna be good if we don't get this done.
Could another company at least quote what needs to be done, see if there's a cost difference in the meantime?
Like, if you can reach out and get me somebody to contact, I'll contact them immediately.
Yeah, I mean, I can, when I sit down, I can text a couple of my neighboring sheriffs and see, you know, they probably, and who they're using that way. Maybe even before we leave, I can
Okay.
give you a name.
I mean, I think just maybe not a full engineering report, obviously, because that takes some time, but if Mike has a relationship with another sheriff, that they have a relationship with somebody, if they can run over and take a look at it and say, yeah, you know what, these guys are probably right, then it just, I don't know, this doesn't,
Probably more of a second inspection from an industry professional.
For quoting? or-
yeah, just for,
I agree
I
with
think it's gonna
that.
be quoting, because I think at this point, the fire marshal doesn't care who he's saying they
It
have to
just
do.
needs to be
As
done.
long as
Yeah.
they're accredited and, you know, a certified company. and
I'd go
stuff.
along with that.
yeah.
But something just don't seem right in this whole ordeal.
Yeah, like the sheriff said, these all don't go bad in 1 year. So what, did something happen somewhere in the state where they've identified that this could be a problem and now they're looking at it?
It's a possibility.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know.
So are you good with Dan's motion?
Yep.
Second that?
Second.
Okay, all right, so I've got a first and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries 3-0.
Just on that note, real quick, and I think should there be something in contact with Crystal, so we will be able to go in front of the council? If you all
Yeah, I
do
can-
an additional appropriation, or
If
it's
we
my
need
budget, I mean, it's yours is mine, it's all coming from the same in the end, but we'll have to probably be in front of the council. at
Well, I
some
think
point.
we have money in contractual services,
okay.
but
Yeah,
we
yeah.
would have to go back probably later in the year
If something comes up or
something
that's
comes up,
caused us to run short.
it might.
Okay. Thanks.
Thank you, Sheriff.
Okay. Two more quick items for the board's approval. A pandemic relief fund request. This is for John Goff. Commissioners have expenses to facilitate and remove / telework capability. That's $434.63. Legal services specific to COVID-19, $8,696. Total of $9,130.63. For nonprofit organizations, you have St. John the Baptist Catholic Church for $5,000. Warrick County 4-H Council, anticipated expenses of $5,000. We did receive their grant agreement today, and Terry has signed that. Castle Band Boosters, this is their second request, this one in the amount of $1,016.82. And that's to get the Castle Band Boosters Inc. up to the maximum limit of $5,000. And they submitted all required documentation. The total of the nonprofit is $11,016.82 for your approval by motion.
Roger, I have a question here. I have 4, non-for-profit 21-31 through non-for-profit -31 or 21-34. So I have 4 here. So we're missing,
Well, they're not on today's agenda for approval.
these here or not?
No.
Well, St. John's, the Baptist Catholic Church is here for 5,000. It's on this.
Right. But not all the ones that I've made copies for you, Dan, are on today's agenda.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So, well,
These listed on today's agenda have all documents submitted, and you and Mr. Richmond have previously approved them also.
right, 32, 33, and 34. I have 31 that I thought was approved too.
Okay,
Newburgh Girls
that's the
Softball.
Newburgh Girls Softball for $5,000.
Right.
I can't remember if that was previously approved or not.
Well, they were missing,
some financial
the
information.
W-9 or something, or I think,
I think,
I have my
sent
notes in the
that.
office.
yeah.
I think we got it because I remember getting a letter from Todd's administrator saying that they have received all the paperwork.
Okay.
So I didn't know. I mean, it can be approved next meeting, but I just,
I don't know specifically on Newburgh Girls Softball, but we can certainly get it on the next meeting, which will be your last round of nonprofit approvals, actually. So
okay.
there's some reason why it wasn't on the list of fully ready to go.
Okay.
Let me see here. It's 21-31.
31.
Under here, John never made any, I made a list of all the nonprofit requests, and 21-31, he didn't make any comments. My only comment on the updated sheet that I prepared today is that Mike Jost, who is in charge of that league, his financial information received was, quote, NGS, I guess that's Newburgh
Newburgh
Girls
Girls
Softball,
Softball, yeah.
Historical 20-team tournament income report. That may be sufficient, but it was for like 2020.
Yeah, I thought we were just missing an I-9 or
W-9.
W-9, I mean. So here's the W-9. that
Yeah,
was
yeah,
sent-
we got
sent.
that.
So, and I thought I got, what's your admin, your lady's name that,
Lindsay?
Lindsay?
Todd, is there any problem? Should they wish to approve it today in this meeting?
They could approve it on condition that all documentation has been received and that Greg and Dan previously had approved it,
Right.
which I believe they had on condition of getting all the paperwork.
If you're still talking about the girls' Newburgh softball, that was approved with the 322 meeting.
Was it already approved?
Yes, it was
Okay.
on there.
It was approved, we was waiting on
Waiting on
the form,
yeah.
okay. That-
Yeah, it was added most recently today is what Roger had stated in the last meeting.
Okay.
And
I
he
knew we
said all
received
that was
something.
necessary was the motion, and I believe that was also paid.
Okay.
So-
I'm
Thank
sorry,
you,
I just knew
Christine.
I saw something where it was,
Dan, the
Yes.
only thing we're waiting on, like right now, the Warrick County Young Life, which was NP 21-30. John had advised that you and Greg, as the review committee, must decide if the information submitted is sufficient documentation to demonstrate their need so that you can approve that for subsequent approval by the board in open meeting. And the one NP request 2129, which is Bread of Life Ministries, we're still waiting on the IRS determination letter showing that they're exempt from federal taxes as 501c3, C6, or C7. And my contact, she finally got through to an IRS person on March 31st, who told her that the determination letter would be sent, but it would take 10 to 14 business days. That puts the date somewhere between April 14th and 20th. Hopefully she'll get it Wednesday's 14th, so.
well, I've not had a conversation with Greg about the Bread of Life or the Young Life, so I would say we
Okay.
just wait on those till approve when we get all the paperwork in.
All righty.
So
All right,
we need a motion.
go ahead. Yep.
I make a motion to approve the three non-for-profit pandemic relief fund requests.
Plus the two commissioners.
Plus the two.
Oh, I'm sorry,
expense.
yeah, plus the two commissioners.
Very good.
Second.
Second. Got a first and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries 3-0.
And Mr. President, if I could interject, again, just the next meeting will be the last round of approvals.
Right.
And didn't we set a date, Roger, where
I think John said April 21st
April.
by 4 p.m.
April 21st at 4 p.m. is the last date that Warrick County nonprofits can submit requests under the Nonprofit Pandemic Relief Fund. That would allow for processing in time for the next commissioners meeting. And the next commissioners meeting would be the last opportunity to
Right.
approve any of those. And if any fund balance remains, then it reverts back.
Okay, one last item. Steve Raleigh, Economic Development Director, sent a copy of a credit card agreement for Emily Rubel, the new Event Center Director. And all's in order, just need your approval by motion so Heather can order the new credit card. She's already canceled the previous director's credit card.
Entertain a motion.
So moved.
First and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries 3-0.
Thank you, that's all I have.
Thank you, Roger. Okay, let's see here. Next item, departmental reports. County Attorney.
All right, thank you, Mr. President. The first item on our agenda looks like commercial lease agreement regarding the Public Defender's Office, which was tabled from the last meeting. Mr. Warren Mathias is also here for the board in case you have any questions, but this was tabled because there were some terms to the commercial lease agreement with AIM LLC, the owner of the property, that we had issues with. It is for 1044 Eskew Road, the upper level offices for the Warrick County Public Defender's Office. And with Mr. Mathias's assistance, we got that submitted to AIM, and they accepted all of the county's revisions to that contract. So I don't know if, Warren, if you had anything else you wanted to add to that or not, but I believe the lease commencing May 1st of 2021 for 1 year is now in order for the commissioners to consider.
I'm Warren Mathias, Chief Public Defender, and I am available to answer any questions you might have. One thing I'd point out, I think the total 1 year sticker price is, it turns out to be $8,400. The state of Indiana will reimburse 40% of that back to the county general fund. And so it should be it should be less than a $5,000 decision for you all. There was plenty of budget accounted for when the council approved the 4 full-time equivalent positions. There was some confusion because the office space was created in the courthouse. I don't think everybody realized there were 4 full-time people having to fit in the space. But it's needed for us to meet privately with clients and to prep for trial and have our boards out and then document retention is what we're required to do by law. I'm happy to answer any questions.
So Warren, do you still need that space in the judicial center?
Oh, absolutely. It's a great space.
Okay.
Yeah, that's so the judges can say, go across the hallway. That's where they get their paper. It's where they have their first contact.
That's what I thought you needed,
Yeah.
that space. I just wanted to
Yeah.
confirm.
And Warren sent an email March 29th explaining the need. I believe I forwarded that to everybody. So
All my questions have been answered. Any questions?
No.
I'll entertain a motion to approve the lease.
I make a motion to approve the lease, as long as they don't bring any pets in there.
They've had that in there. I've never seen anything like that.
yeah.
I'll second.
All right, I have a first and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries 3-0.
And Todd, you have the document.
I do have an original for you, Roger.
Thank you.
One thing that I wanted to bring to your attention, it's not on your agenda, and it's something that I got an email on yesterday or Friday. The people that I report to upstate have asked me if there's any opioid and drug prevention needs that I can identify. They sent this to all counties. Apparently, there's a master settlement coming, much like the tobacco settlement, and that may come to local governments. So I wanted to put it on your radar. If you haven't heard about it, it's something that's just developed. The Attorney General in Indiana has found something or is a party to something that may trickle down. From my research, it looks like most of it would go to Southwest Mental Health, or Recovery Works, or state entities, but you guys have a few drug task force and the sheriff's office and things that might apply. I couldn't figure out where it would apply for me, except if I were to make some analysis that we had more cases.
Well, I know we make a big payment to Southwest Mental Health. So.
Yeah.
So,
Was there any substance to whatever information you got
so
on
they
it
said that there is
that you could send me?
Yeah, I'll dig it up or forward you the email. It came from Bernice Corley, the head of the Public Defender Commission. Apparently, there's something being written into the state budget to allow for there to be a bowl to catch money that comes from a master national settlement agreement. And then I called around and asked, and I know that the Lawrence County apparently they're about our size probably, apparently is asking questions up there too. So I'll find it and forward it to you. I tried to think about what it would be, but I'm still racking my brain about it. But if we can find it, great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sure.
Thank you, Warren.
Yep. Thanks.
Next, Mr. President, we've got some ordinances coming up. The first one is an ordinance amending the capital improvement plan to add the Victoria Woods project. And ordinance number?
Will be 2021-16.
Ordinance 2021-16 of the Board of County Commissioners of Warrick County amending the capital improvement plan originally passed on June 26, 1989, and most recently amended on February 11th of 2019. The amended capital improvement plan, Mr. President, adds on the project list under projects under the Warrick County Department of Economic Development, project by the name of Victoria Woods Trailway, an approximately 1 3/4 mile trail network extending current Warrick County trail assets at Rosalind Road to the intersection of Jenner Road and Baker Road. The project is a step towards eventually connecting the Freedman area trailways to the Boonville area and Prime Foods Trailhead location. Under Section 3 of the Capital Improvement Plan, the estimated total cost of the economic development project, Victoria Woods Trailway, is added as $550,000 and as approved by the Economic Development Advisory Council. Under Section 4 of the plan, the sources of funds to pay for the project would be federal $0 and local share $550,000. Planning, development, and construction schedules under Section 5 of the plan lists the Victoria Woods Trailway project schedule as January 1st, 2021 through December 31st, 2022. And the estimated minimum county local income tax revenues necessary for the projects will be added and updated to the ordinance after being provided the same by the council. Other than that, the Warrick County Commissioners Ordinance number 2021-16, adding the Trailway project at Victoria Woods, is available for the commissioners to approve.
Very good. Any questions? I'll entertain a motion.
I make a motion to approve ordinance number 2021-16 for adding to the capital improvement plan.
I'll second.
Very good. I have a first and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries 3-0.
Thank you, Mr. President. Moving on, ordinance 2021-17, an ordinance establishing the ARP Coronavirus Local Fiscal Recovery Fund. This is an ordinance, Mr. President, in response to the COVID national health emergency and the United States Congress enactment of the American Rescue Plan Act, the ARP Act. The auditor has provided me with the fund number 8950, and this ordinance simply creates the fund. The county code of ordinances of Warrick County, Indiana is hereby amended to include a new section 37.25 entitled the ARP Coronavirus Local Fiscal Recovery Fund as follows. The county commissioners hereby establish the ARP Coronavirus Local Fiscal Recovery Fund number 8950 for purposes of receiving all ARP funds allocated and distributed to the county under the ARP Act. And of course, that has not been done yet, but to prepare for it. The ARP fund shall be used and applied in accordance with the purposes set forth in Section 603C of the Social Security Act and Section 9001 of the ARP Act, and to include the following. To respond to the public health emergency with respect to COVID-19 or its negative economic impacts, including assistance to households, small businesses, and nonprofits, or to aid impacted industries such as tourism, travel, and hospitality. B, to respond to workers performing essential work during COVID-19 public health emergency by providing premium pay to eligible workers of Warrick County that are performing such essential work, or providing grants to eligible employees that have eligible workers who perform essential work. C, for the provision of government services to the extent of the reduction in revenue of Warrick County due to COVID-19 public health emergency relative to revenues collected in the most recent full fiscal year of Warrick County prior to the emergency. Or D, to make necessary investments in water, sewer, or broadband infrastructure. The Board of County Commissioners and the Warrick County Council shall establish the plan as may be amended from time to time, along with conditions and rules which shall set forth the specific uses and applications of the ARP funds, and the plan, which may be amended and updated, will be incorporated into this ordinance. The plan is something, Mr. President, this board, the council, the auditor, and other parties will need to get to work on and establish. The ARP fund shall be appropriated by the Warrick County Council to the fund before any use. All expenditures of the ARP fund shall be approved by the Board of Commissioners of Warrick County, with any and all claims to be paid from the fund in accordance with routine claim processes under Indiana Code 5-11-10-1.6, accompanied by sufficient supporting documentation as required. And also, Mr. President, the fund shall remain in effect until December 31, 2024, unless otherwise rescinded pursuant to enactment of a subsequent ordinance or amendment following termination of the fund, and pursuant to the act, any remaining fund balance shall be paid back to the United States Treasury Department if required. That is the substance of the proposed ordinance.
If that money is not spent and appropriated, it goes back to the federal, at the end of 2024, it goes back to the federal government.
According to the ARP Act. So this ordinance, Mr. President, establishes the fund that the auditor has provided to prepare for the receipt of the first disbursement of those funds to be allocated to Warrick County, which I'm of the understanding might be received sometime between now and May 11th or so.
Very good. Any question or discussion? I'll entertain a motion to approve.
Second.
A first and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, motion carries 3-0.
Thank you, Mr. President. The next on the agenda is ordinance 2021-18.
Now, the one before was 17.
Well,
It
Yeah, you're
wasn't
good.
stated.
You're
It
good.
wasn't
I'm good.
stated,
All right.
but it had to
I'm
be
keeping
said.
an eye on you, don't worry.
thank you very much. That's why I was looking over. I'm just making sure I'm going in order. And this is a proposed ordinance establishing a policy for electronic submission of payroll claims. Mr. President, this is an ordinance amending section 39.05 of the Warrick County Code of Ordinances, which already exists. Just makes a few minor grammatical changes to chapter 39.05. It adds section B3 as follows: notwithstanding any other provision under this section 3905 to the contrary, payroll claim vouchers, along with any and all substantiating and supporting documentation required under this section 3905, may be electronically submitted to the Warrick County Auditor's Office for processing and payment. There's additional grammatical and Indiana Code citation fixes that follow. And subpart 39.05C for claims to be paid by the auditor, allowing the auditor to make claim payments in advance of Warrick County Board of Commissioners allowance, which lists numerous types of claims that the auditor is permitted to do so. It adds as just another category of claims that may be paid in advance of board allowance, maintenance, or service agreements. And with those proposed edits to section 39.05, that's the substance of ordinance 2021-18.
Very good. Any questions, comments? No. I'll entertain a motion.
I make a motion to approve ordinance 2021-18.
Didn't know the number.
2021-18. Did you second?
Second.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Discussion, please. What you are proposing, after hearing the ordinance, is actually removing part of the payroll processes that are under the authority of the auditor's office. The processes, the internal controls, and the certification of payroll is exactly the same as any other claim. We currently do not have an electronic payroll system. We do not. It doesn't exist. If we did, that would be great. We could receive those submissions into our system electronically. Emailing an already hard copy that exists, that's been prepared in the department, is in no way an electronic submission of payroll. It's just pushing off to our department a mandate that we do not have funds for and we do not have resources for, because all of those payroll submissions have to be printed in order to be certified, processed, and submitted to you. What you are proposing with this ordinance is absolutely no different than if you told every single department head that they could submit their claims by email. That's a nightmare. Receiving payroll by email is also a nightmare. There's printing that's involved. Why is that coming to my office and taxing my resources? I have one payroll deputy. We are already using resources from accounts payable to certify those claims, to go through all of those records that are supporting documents that support the AP voucher. I don't think you see payroll as a claim. It is a claim, just like a county form 17 that must be certified. We have to go through those service records. Does it match what's been submitted on the AP voucher? The larger the department, the larger the payroll, the larger the claim. We have to go through more validation and certification. I really believe what you're proposing here today is just an overreach to the auditor's responsibilities of payroll. It is my responsibility to certify those claims, to have what we need to do so, and that is part of the submission process, to have supporting documentation with that AP voucher when it comes to our office. It is not our responsibility to print off payroll for a department who will not walk it across the street. Or
That's
another
not the
department who
case,
makes a
Debbie.
trip 1 mile down the street to the bank every day and cannot drop off their payroll submission. The two largest departments in the county are the sheriff's department and the highway department. And I know that it's tough. Payroll's tough. When they give it to us, it's tough to certify, but they make it happen. It can happen. But I will tell you, if they want a solution for electronic submission, the only solution is an electronic system. And that's a huge cost savings to the taxpayers to have an electronic system in place. And I don't see how you can ordain away my responsibility of payroll and the forms that we receive it in, and then push that responsibility off on us to print off everyone's payroll. If you want someone in your office to print it off and bring it to us,
Let me say something.
I'll go along with that.
We didn't say email. It says electronic submission.
What is that?
We could set up a printer in your office to print this directly to the printer if you'd prefer that. This just says electronic submission. That's all it says. It's going to make things more efficient.
From what I see and my responsibilities, payroll and internal controls for payroll and certification are not within the scope of the commissioner's duties. You approve it. We certify it. This is part of that certification process to receive it.
You're still
How
gonna
can this
receive
be
it.
different than you telling the departments they can just start emailing claims to us? That is a nightmare for our office. this is really a very unfair ordinance where you're trying to step in to my statutory duties and say, we'll change your processes. Who else has that authority to do that to you?
We're just trying to make things more efficient here.
No, it is not. You're trying to make it, you're trying to placate with departments who don't want to just do what needs to be done. To get the pay, it's twice a month, come on.
It's the same form.
Twice a month. They've already done the work. The payroll is ready for submission, but they want to walk and scan it and then send it to us and tell us to print it off or whatever it is they're doing. But twice a month, let's be real. Let's be real, guys. Are we just playing a game here that's where someone just simply wants their way and they're going to come to the commissioners for an ordinance? I want you guys to be payroll compliant. That's what we should be trying to achieve, not how it's submitted to our office.
Debbie, I can assure there's no games being played here. We are trying to make things efficient. So I don't appreciate, the
Well, I'm telling you, it's
insinuation
not more
that there's.
efficient for my office. I don't know who it's more efficient for, but it absolutely will not be.
I mean, I
terms
think
of
from what I heard,
resources.
there's efficiency to every department. So, how many departments do we have in this county? And so
I have one payroll deputy and you're wanting to dump that responsibility on one person when it's already being prepared in the department. They can't get around the preparation of it. They just need to bring it to us, just like a client.
So what's the difference if there's an electronic payroll system in? You don't print it out with it?
That an electronic payroll system is prepared in the same way in the department and approved by the department head. It's all prepared the same. It's no less work. Well, it probably is less work actually for the department. The sheriff's department, we work with Paul as chief deputy. He's a strong advocate for a payroll system because he's got the largest payroll in the county, and he has 3 shifts, 3 different rates, and a lot of variables that can be built into a payroll, an electronic payroll submission. How does that help us? That pulls right into our system. And then we're going through and just certifying those just like we do, only we're not dealing with paper. It flows into the system. It has to match what we have. And this is not apples to apples when you say, oh, we're just going to email it to you, or we're just going to send it to a printer. No, that's not fair. That is absolutely not fair to my processes and our staff.
You're taking an email or a fax or however you're going to receive this electronic message. It's going to be timestamped so you'll know exactly when you got it. You're not going to have somebody from Scales Lake or the sheriff's department spend 20 minutes coming down here, find a parking space, and go in the building to give you a piece of paper. To me, it just makes sense.
Yeah, to me,
We currently have 2 departments who are objecting. One's in this building.
I don't.
Walk across the street. You have to bring
I
your
don't have a
claims over
problem
anyway.
with that. It's
They
the
have to
ones
check their
that are
mail.
Outlying departments are the issue.
It's a 5-minute drive from
There's so much more that could go on here, Debbie. I mean, there's road safety. There's people putting their own vehicles into service for the county.
You spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on new software for your department to make you more efficient, and you've not lost a body out of there. So I don't know what the deal is here. What is it that is you're so busy over there?
Every single department in this county will tell you they are busier this year than they were last year.
All you got to
And
do
I
is
have not grown my
pull up an
staff.
email and select print.
And so when do we receive those original signed copies? That is required by the State Board of Accounts, just like a claim, Bob.
I don't think
It's
it
a
is.
claim,
Show me where it
original
is.
signed
Show me
copies.
Show me where that.
You're ready to ordain it away and you don't even know what's required by State Board of
State Board
Accounts
of
in an
Accounts
audit
says that
process.
Electronic, as long as you're following the county's policy, the State Board of Accounts will not question it. They said it's fine. We're not the only county in the state that is having electronic.
Well, may I make a proposal then? Have them fax it to your office
That's not
and
the
for,
issue,
to be
Debbie.
printed,
Don't-
and then someone can just bring them
No,
all over at one
We're not
time.
doing that. That's the auditor's position.
Debbie, I have a question
As
for
you
you.
say, it's how you want it.
Exactly.
I am not, there is no efficiencies for us to gain in this process, and it doesn't get you all any
There's
closer to payroll
efficiencies for other
compliance.
departments to gain in this process.
You know what I
It's
think
a-
the commissioners should focus on is payroll compliance, not ordaining away another officer's processes for how they receive and process claims. I think your energy would be to ordain a policy that gets you payroll compliance, because that is the findings from State Board of Accounts against the commissioners currently. It will be for 2020, and we're well on our way for another finding in 2021. That puts federal grants at risk. It puts state grants at risk. We have processes, we have programs, we have projects, we have employees who are fully funded and paid for by federal grants. And all of this puts payroll noncompliance, puts all of that at risk. We have enough findings one year after another. Our credit rating goes down.
Debbie, who's Ricky Hoffer? Hoffer?
She is State Board of Accounts.
Okay. For the record, I just want to let you know we have an email here that says we would not take audit exception to this new ordinance. Just so
They
you know.
do not take audit, fine, they don't take audit exception. So you feel like you must step into the statutory duties of the auditor's office and ordain away a process that we have in place.
Wait a minute, one of your arguments is you said the audit, we would get dinged for this. And so we've done our due diligence. We got a letter in writing or an email in writing that they wouldn't take exception.
They still
So-
have to be produced. They'll have to be produced at audit time. If an
I didn't think a
auditor
print button was
says,
too hard to
bring me
hit
your original
print.
signed copies from your office, it's the same thing as timesheets. If an auditor says, bring me your timesheets to support these payroll vouchers, I must see them, they must exist. Or it is yet another finding. I'm just telling, why the games of, we're going to do it now, or we're going to make a state auditor tell us we have to bring signed original copies to the auditor's office
I
for the
wish you
payroll
would take
process.
games out of your vocabulary.
Well, it feels
This-
like one, Bob. I'll
because
have to
it's not
tell
a
you.
game. We take it very seriously, Debbie.
Let's work together on payroll compliance
We've
rather
been
than
trying to work together, but
nitpicking
it's
the
not
way we
very
get
easy.
there.
Okay, we
I
can sit
don't-
here all day and argue.
Why don't you just
Stop,
tell your appointeds
and
to
I
just
will
do it? How
reconsider
is that
the
so hard just to
motion
correct
for
them and
ordinance.
say,
Dan
give her
made
the
a first.
payroll, give her the claim?
Bob, you've made a second.
A second.
All right.
I'll make one comment just to clarify.
Please
Some
and
of the
thank you.
things that have been mentioned in that, I don't believe the board is trying to invade the auditor's auspices of processes, but the county board of county commissioners have the power to make policy. This is making policy that affects all the county departments. I'm not aware of anything that requires original hard copies to be submitted. If she submits that to the board and we find that's true, we can amend it. But what you're doing is you're making policy that affects all county departments, which you're responsible for. That's what you're doing. And that's why we differ a little bit in the opinion. And I just wanted to clarify what's been said on the record, that that's not in fact what the board is doing.
And Debbie, I don't see 100% of departments doing this. I think the departments that are located within your building, it's very convenient for them to do it. But like Commissioner Philippi said, you got people running up to the JC on sometimes their own time, in their own cars, their own fuel, their own gas. I mean, at what point do we have to start paying mileage and, compensating them for that?
We are county vehicle poor in Warrick County. There's a county vehicle all around the square, all in every department. It does not have to be delivered to our office by someone's personal vehicle.
And this policy is a may. The departments may provide it
Right.
electronically. And if the board wishes, you can always add further clarification and specificity to it as to which departments. But I don't think it's your intent, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, for the clerk's office to be submitting things electronically.
I think there's a
I
net
think it gives
efficiency here.
options.
So whose
It's a
whose
may.
printer, paper, and ink do you plan to use and get these things compiled?
So now we're going into,
It's,
We need to
you're not
provide you
funding, you're
paper and ink.
mandating, but you're not funding and resourcing. I'm just saying, you don't like it, you wouldn't like it if someone did it to you.
Does your
And-
copy ever have an unlimited paper and ink
Pardon?
contract?
No, we have to pay for ink and we have to pay for paper, of course.
It's part of your contract, right?
Paper is not part of it. It's in our budget. Paper is part of our budget.
I didn't know.
I will show you the paper for 2 payrolls. Right
Well,
here.
I guess the answer to the question is yours. So I guess the answer to the question is yours.
So Debbie, it looks like you're printing it out anyway. You just
No,
held
they
up
are
a 2-inch
They are
stack.
delivered to our department, originals signed, and then we take them just like a claim, just like a claim. It's no different. They come to us from the departments, they're prepared, they're originals, original invoices, they're signed by the department head, original signatures, and they're submitted to us. That is what we require, because when we're asked for that claim, that's what State Board of Accounts wants to see, an original.
So if there's an electronic system, you don't print out any paper.
No, it would actually
So-
pull right into our system, and then we would be able to
no
audit.
Nothing's printed out.
no department has ever or is submitted to you electronically, ever.
You know, we tried to work with the departments during COVID and when but I'm telling you, it was a nightmare because we had to go into all of these. And so we asked them, okay, we're past all of that. After a few months, we're fully open. We're past all of that. Just let's get back to bringing in your claims just like you do all of the other claims. And we even worked with some of the departments, the same for claims. But there you go. That's where you start to find a duplicate payment. You start to find duplicate claims because you're trying to match up originals to copies, and
Claims are a different story.
You do
but-
not run my office and my processes. And so I really disrespect that you feel like you know better to come in and say, we're changing this for you, because that's what we
I think
can
it's
do.
blatantly obvious that this adds efficiency to the overall payroll system.
It doesn't add efficiencies
It
for
does.
us. Terry, I run the office. It does not add efficiencies
We
for
don't.
us.
I still have a first. I still have a second. Correct? All right. All in favor, please say aye.
All right.
Aye. Motion carries 3-0.
Roger, I have an original if you don't.
Okay.
Lastly, Mr. President, we have a resolution.
Yay, 2021-05 for the resolution.
This would be Resolution 2021-05, a resolution of the Board of Commissioners of Warrick County, Indiana, lifting restrictions and mitigation plan requirements relating to COVID-19. I won't read the entire resolution, Mr. President, because a lot of it is a rehash of prior COVID resolutions, but I will read the following. Whereas on April 1st, 2021, the Governor of Indiana issued Executive Order 21-09, which, among other things, lifted the requirement that face masks or coverings be worn, except for when an individual is A, inside a state government building, office, or facility, B, outside on state property where social distancing cannot be achieved and maintained, C, at a COVID-19 testing or vaccination site, or D, at a K through 12 educational facility. Furthermore, on April 1st, 2021, the Governor of Indiana issued Executive Order 21-09, which set forth that as of April 6, 2021, all decisions regarding the organizing of social gatherings or events, including any limitations on venue capacity, are to be determined in the sole discretion of local health departments. So therefore, this resolution resolves by the Board of Commissioners of Warrick County, Indiana as follows. 1, Resolution 2020-18 of Warrick County is hereby rescinded in its entirety, such there are no restrictions, capacity limitations, or other COVID-19 related conditions on any social gatherings or events in Warrick County that require the submission of COVID-19 mitigation plans to the Warrick County Health Department. 2, face coverings or masks are not required to be worn in Warrick County except for those locations specifically provided in Executive Order 21-09 as amended. Notwithstanding the foregoing, this resolution does not preclude any business or private establishment in Warrick County from requesting or requiring patrons to wear face coverings or masks while inside said business or establishment. And 3, those provisions concerning emergency and expanded family and medical leave of Warrick County employees as contained in restated Resolution 2020-03, Resolution 2020-04, and Resolution 2020-06 as applicable are terminated as of January 1, 2021, and the official policy with respect to any and all leave benefits available to Warrick County employees is that which is contained in the Warrick County Employee Handbook as amended. Resolution is effective upon passage this 12th day of April 2021, signed by the Warrick County Board of County Commissioners.
Very good, thank you.
And as you know, Mr. President, we have consulted with Warrick County Health Officer Aaron France and approves of this language and also indicates that nothing currently occurring with regards to the pandemic would cause him to recommend anything other than passage of your resolution.
Correct. I will entertain a motion to approve Resolution 2021-05.
I interject, energize that resolution 2021-05.
Can you say it again?
Yeah,
Easy for you to say.
yeah.
I'll second.
Very good. I have a first and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries 3-0.
Nothing further, Mr. President.
Very good, thank you.
Emphatically is what I was looking for.
All right, next order of business is our county auditor.
All right, I have first the county treasurer's monthly report that was submitted to the auditor's office on
Thank you.
time. Next, I have payroll with 11 departments, non-certified. It appears that on some of these, there's no paperwork supporting documentation or paperwork. Another is no policy for a bonus day that was granted that's being taken on some of these payroll submissions, and they will continue to be non-certified due to a lack of policy for those. First payroll is for March 29th, and the total is $514,674.15. That's 514678.15. That's March 29th payroll. The next payroll is April 12th with 12 non-certified payroll submissions. Same, there's bonus days with no policy. There's some COVID pay with no clarification, and then no paperwork for supporting documentation. Total for payroll for April 12th is $523,215.15. That's 523,215.15. So 2 payrolls this meeting.
Very good. I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to pay the payroll?
Second.
I have a first and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries 3-0.
All right, we have 2 non-certified claims. One is area plan, Culligan, water in the office, bottled water, $30. The next is reimbursement to County Auditor Debbie Stevens. This is a reimbursement of the Department of Workforce Development penalty and interest for fourth quarter. That's $86.85. The total is $116.85.
Quick question, Debbie, on the
Yes.
reimbursement to you. I know we discussed that at length last meeting. I
Yes.
thought that number sounded odd. I believe, unless there's something that I don't understand, is it 84.94?
No, it's, there was a fee for paying it by credit card
Okay,
of
that's
$1.91. So there's your difference.
So this non-certified claim is to reimburse you, right?
Correct.
I make a
It's-
motion to approve the non-certified claims.
Second.
Have a first and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries 3-0.
Thank you. Last is all certified claims for a total of $1,223,933.23. That's 1,223,933.23.
Entertain a motion.
I make a motion to pay the claims.
Second.
Have a first and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries 3-0.
That's all I have.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next item on the agenda is our county engineer / highway superintendent. Bobby.
I have one item that is change order number 11 for Bell Road. This is in regards to the concrete for the approaches. The plans did not have it picked up that existing aggregate drives would go back in kind. And so this change puts that to where if you had an existing exposed aggregate driveway, concrete drive, that it would go back as existing exposed aggregate. The amount of this is for $4,934.12, and I ask for approval.
Bobby, was that our fault that we missed that?
No, that was design plan related.
That's how I would want my driveway put back like it was.
Well, I don't disagree, but it's not like they switched in the middle of the night.
Right, I get
You know,
it.
I mean, they were there.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't understand it. You know, they can make all the mistakes they want, and I'm not saying that it probably wouldn't have been in the price, you know, adjusted anyway, but is this an 80/20?
Possibly. It depends if money's available.
Go at the rate we're going, there's not.
It's up to the appeal if there's any funds available.
If we don't approve it, what happens?
Contractor probably file claim.
I don't know. It's just beyond me how there's been several things missed, and
Or changed.
Huh?
Or changed.
or changed, yeah. And it's just like they've accepted no responsibility for a couple of these mistakes, and
I can understand the things that are not seen or, you know, hidden and you run across them as you're digging and grading, but this, you know, this is right out in the open. And I'm pretty disappointed with this whole group to begin with. So I'll make a motion to pay the claim, but it's not only so people can get their driveways back.
second.
Have a first and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries 3-0.
Thank you. That's all I have.
Just for the record, Bobby, this is not on you. Unfortunately, you're the messenger. As Commissioner Johnson said, I've been a little bit disappointed in some of the processes and some of the things that's been missed in this project. So,
I just made a note to give them a call. Okay, so that's all you have, Bobby?
That is it.
Thank you.
thank you.
County purchasing, Joe's not here. Roger, do you have anything for Joe?
No, sir.
Okay. Sheriff?
Sheriff Mike Wilder. I have had 4 sheriffs respond to me. I can do that, or I can just give it to him after the meeting. I don't know.
Okay.
Now, or just give it to him after now.
Yeah.
2 of them, 2 of the different counties use Corson.
Corson, gotcha.
Yep. One uses Simplex, another uses Tri-State. That was just the 4 that I got quick replies back while we're sitting there.
Corson, Simplex, and Tri-State. I know that Corson and Tri-State, is Simplex also in Evansville?
I don't know. I've not heard
Yeah.
that.
Okay.
Simplex is,
All right, very good.
but I think Tri-State, I think they,
The only thing I have, I may reach out to Todd about, just kind of give you guys a heads up. I don't think the first part is any concern, but maybe the second part. But QCC, which is our medical provider in the jail, is I've partnered up with them. They're going to be bringing in the Johnson & Johnson vaccine to offer to any inmates that are willing to take the shot. But what we will be doing is holding that vaccine and offering it as it comes through with consent form. But it's being administered through QCC as a medical provider, not, I think, so there's a consent form that they sign. So I will send, as soon as I see that, though, the consent form, just for Todd to review it. But obviously, it's optional to an inmate. And then we're actually going to have vaccine on the shelf. And anytime that a certain amount want it, they can have it. When you open a vial, it's my understanding you got to do 5 shots. So it'll be offered to, we can't, when just one person, we got to kind of wait till we have enough. Or she told me we can offer to employees or spouses, even if we want, if they sign.
so within so much time period.
Yeah, and I don't know those exact parameters, but I'm gonna kind of make it clarifying that this is being done by QCC as the medical provider, but as the sheriff's office, I'm supplying, giving that opportunity to inmates that wouldn't else have the opportunity to get it since they're incarcerated.
Sheriff, are you going to have any type of medical professionals standing by for that?
The nurse, yeah, it can only be
24-hour
administered by the
period or something?
nurse.
We understand, but people get sick from this stuff.
Yeah, it's a nurse that stands by there. And the first initial wave, they're going to come in and bring in extra staff that will do that. QCC is bringing that in. And they're the ones administering all that. And I'll have extra staff, not for medical, just as for security as they come up to get their shot.
Okay.
Sheriff, who pays for this? Is this?
It's done by the state,
Oh, okay.
DOC, I believe, but it's not, there's no cost to
No
Ellsworth
cost.
County.
Good deal.
Yeah, so-
I'm just, I would just want to have just an awareness that some people might be getting sick and you might
Yeah.
have.
And there is, I've got vaccinated. I got a little bit sick on my second shot. Nothing like just chill stuff. There is some, as any medication, there can be some adverse affection,
Sure.
reactions. So yeah, definitely there'll be medical when we do these. We won't do them right before the nurses to leave for the day and then, stuff. But,
Sheriff, do they sign a release?
yeah, there's a consent form that they're doing, and it's through QCC because they're the ones providing everything, and it's been overseen by their Dr. Pearson, I believe is his name, is oversees their medical.
Do we need to approve this, or is this just information?
I think it's just information.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, so.
Thank you. Mr. Saylor,
I have none.
Mr. Johnson,
I have nothing.
motion to adjourn.
I make a motion to adjourn.
Second?
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries 3-0. Thanks, everyone.
Christine, I got 5:33 PM on my cell phone.